What's good? It's Woog. I just wanted to alert you to a album that's about to drop from the band Dehd. That's D-E-H-D, and that album is called Blue Skies. Now, Dehd is kind of a new-ish band. There are 3 members in it, and I would classify it as, kind of surf rock. It is under that big post-punk umbrella, but it's specifically jangle guitars where you get a lot of the ding 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 and a lot of reverb on the guitar. So think like the descendants of like Link Wray or Dwayne Eddy, Dick Dale, those types of kind of classical early 60s surf rock guitarists. So when you hear the descendants of that, it would be in certain bands like Surfer Blood or Dive, D-I-I-V, different bands where you could hear some of that washed out guitar sound. Some of it might fall under the umbrella of shoegaze, but shoegaze is more, it's just a heavier downpour of that washed out guitar sound, whereas the jangle or surf rock that I'm referring to has a little bit more guitar play, where it creates those, musical earworms. And I think that Dehd more so falls under that category. It does also have some dream pop sounds, but I look at dream pop production as being a little bit more pillowy than Dehd's music. Now, I was first exposed to Dehd when a buddy and I used to shoot. This was from like 2014, 2015 through 2017. We shot under the name Seen and Heard. So we would go to all the different, concert venues in LA, shooting a bunch of different bands and rap artists and rock artists and so forth. And we were going to the Echoplex in Echo Park, LA, to shoot a band from Chicago called Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks had an album called Wild Onion that I was really into, especially the track 1 called I Found a New Way. Now, we had shot Twin Peaks one other time after that here in Long Beach. It was at the Music Tastes Good Festival. By then, they had already released another album by that point. But when we were going to shoot Twin Peaks at the Echoplex, there was an opening band called Knee High. And so when we would go out to shoot, we would bring our cameras, and get like multi-angle shots. And so we're basically camped out in front of the stage, and we would get the press passes from like either the record labels or the PR group, if the artist had a PR group. So we would send the emails, get the approval, come through, shoot, edit the stuff, and then put it up on YouTube. But we were going to shoot Twin Peaks, and the opening band was called Knee High. So as Knee High started to play, me and my boy, we're looking at each other like, damn, this is pretty tight. So we brought the cameras out and we shot almost the entire set. And we actually have 3 of the videos. You can find it in the description. But Knee High made a huge impression on me. But specifically, there was one member of Knee High, and this dude was just on fire during this performance. Like they had 3 different songwriters of the band. So, for each song, it was like they were alternating main singers, or at least 2 main singers were doing the lion's share of the writing. So they were almost going back and forth by the track. And I swear, anytime this dude's song came on, it felt like the whole place felt like it was elevated just a couple levels higher. And this guy was so super animated while he was playing. He was like jumping into singing to the mic, then he would jump back while he's like kind of just moving his guitar around. And then you could take a look at the description of the video and see for yourself. Check out the band Knee High. Well, they had released an album later on that year called Offers. So now we're talking 2017, like early 2017. And that Offers album was actually pretty tight. There's a good song called Stay Young, another good song called Offers, another one called Out of Reach. Pretty dope songs. So Knee High ends up breaking up like in 2019 because Jason Balla, that kid in Knee High, starts another band and joins another band called Dehd. D-E-H-D. And so my boy told me, hey, that kid from Knee High is now in a band called Dehd. I'm like, oh, for real? So then I, pulled some of the music up, and at the time, they had released an album called Water. So now this is 2019. They also have one older album. It's the self-titled Dehd album from 2016. So Jason Balla was balancing duties between the 2 bands, and they actually have a final post on their Knee High Instagram that basically says, this is the last post that we're making as Knee High. You could follow these 3 other band members in this new band called Spun Out, and you could follow Jason at like that social media handle. So they've released a couple albums by this point. 2019's Water has a ridiculously dope song if you're into that post-punk, jangle, earworm guitar style song. That song is called Lucky. It's track 2 from Water. Ridiculously good. Other songs that I like from Water are On My Side, Lake, and the self-titled Water, the title track Water. Pretty dope album. But then they released another album in 2020. This one is called Flowers of Devotion. And just the opening track alone, called Desire, will basically show you everything that I was seeing in 2016, 2017, watching Knee High live, seeing this kid, Jason Balla, just go nuts. The opening track to Dehd's 2020 album, Flowers of Devotion, called Desire, basically is Exhibit A in terms of what is so dope about this kid, along with that song Lucky from 2019's Water. Lucky is probably still my favorite Dehd song to date, even including the songs that I like from Flower of Devotion, such as Desire, such as Nobody, or the song Flying. Pretty dope album, and it elevated their status even more. Still, Lucky is my favorite song from Dehd, which features again on that prior 2019 album Water. So this is one of the most exciting parts, or the most exciting part of a band's career to follow when they're just starting to take off and gain some notoriety. You don't want to start catching them once they're already like, you know, one of the big names on a, and I don't mean the headliner, but I even mean like 2-3 rows down on a Coachella flyer. You want to catch them when they're still in the very small print, just barely making the flyer or just creeping up the flyer, because that's when they're experimenting. That's when they're super interesting. They're honing their sound writing chops. And this goes for any band's trajectory, like even like Pink Floyd's, for instance. I just did a video on the album called Meddle, M-E-D-D-L-E. This was like a couple albums before Dark Side of the Moon. So keep your eye out for this new release of the album Blue Skies from the band Dehd. I really want to see how far they can go, especially because, you know, I kind of feel like that style of surf rock, or, you know, just that style of indie rock, post-punk that deals with that kind of just deliciously melodic guitar sound. I feel like that's almost become further and further niche. Dehd, like the band they were opening for, or like the band Knee High was opening for, Twin Peaks, which you can see Twin Peaks, bigger band than Dehd at this point, but like fellow Chicago band Twin Peaks is following Dehd on social media, on Instagram. So you'll see that Kevin Morby, Waxahachie, certain prominent artists or more prominent artists are starting to follow this band Dehd. So they're starting to gain a bigger and bigger following. I think they might be at like 40,000 plus followers or something like that. So their profile is now steadily growing. So now is when you want to catch them. Go ahead and listen to that album Water. Listen to Flower of Devotion. And if you like what you're hearing then definitely check out the new Blue Skies. I really think that there's something special about that Jason Balla kid. Again, I don't know how far they're going to go. I don't know how much breadth he has in songwriting ability, but I know that on any given song, he could potentially release dynamite like he did on Lucky, like he did on a couple of those Knee High songs that I was listening to from that album Offers, and like he did on the opening track to Flower of Devotion called Desire. So I'm really excited to hear what they're cooking up with Blue Skies. They've recently dropped another couple songs, and I think that these might be included on the Blue Skies album. One of them is called Bad Love, another one is called Stars, another one is called Bop, and another one is called Empty in My Mind. Now, Empty in My Mind is a 4-song EP that they just released. So I wonder if all of these songs are going to make the album, or maybe just a couple of the songs. We're going to find out. But yeah, take a listen to the artist Dehd, D-E-H-D. 3-person band is Jason Balla, as I had mentioned, along with Emily Kempf, or Emily Kampf, along with Eric McGrady. Go ahead and check out Dehd and let me know what you think in the comments. And also, you know how I said, like, this is like the part of the artist's career that you want to catch? You don't want to catch 50 Cent after Get Rich or Die Trying. You want to catch him with Power of the Dollar, right? Well, I mean, Genesis, the band that, you know, Phil Collins would later run through the 80s and stuff like that. In the early 70s, they were more of a folkish band. So albums like Foxtrot, could potentially fall in that same category where the artist is still on the upward trajectory. They haven't yet peaked. They haven't yet like played on SNL if it's like an artist today. Like Phoebe Bridgers, you want to catch her on that album before Punisher. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you love music like I do. I'm Woog. Thanks for tuning in.